So not only is this a rear-wheel drive Honda Civic, it is a supercharged rear-wheel drive Honda Civic with VTEC. What's up, Drift Wizards? It's the Rift Mage, and I'm bringing you a Honda Civic Type R from 1997 Drift Tune. This was a viewer request over on the live stream, and I was pumped to get this build going. One more thing before we kick off this video, I wanted to let you know that this tune works for both wheel and controller. I'll be demonstrating everything today on a wheel setup. However, I have extensively tested it out on controller, and it is just as much of a blast, so don't feel left out if you don't have a wheel system. All right, without wasting any more time, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let me know in the comments below. I'll include the share code for you to download and try it out, and let me know what you think. All right, so first things first, we need some cool wheels. Honestly though, these wheels are pretty not bad. Kind of like 5 spokes, but I don't hate those. We might actually keep those stock wheels. They look pretty cool. All right, let's go here. Step 1 in a Honda drift car, rear wheel drive. Step 2, let's look at the engine. So powered by VTEC here. We do have a pretty flat torque curve, honestly. I might want to keep it here. Naturally aspirated as well, I believe. I don't think the old Hondas weren't turbo. The new Type Rs are. I kind of like this engine. Ooh, a smaller engine though wins us back a lot of room to keep it A-class. We definitely don't want, look at all that turbo lag. We don't want that. I must have tuned this car at some point. We're apparently not stock. They put a fucking supercharger on this, I guess, at some point. Well, that's kind of good. That means we're already, what? Oh my god, we're only 320 horse still. All right, let's see here. Let me see what I did to this car. So we're on semi-slick. Oh, we're good. We have so much room. We were on semi-slicks. The middle option aspirator I used, so you turbocharged it? Hell yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Here's my train of thought, and there's no right or wrong way. When you go with the turbocharger, let me put it on just so I can show you what happens. If you keep it stock, it looks like it's not that big of a deal. Actually, on this engine, it's not really that big of a deal. Some of them are way worse. But you can kind of see here around, I don't know what this is, maybe 4,000, 4,500 RPM, somewhere right there. There's a little bit of a power spike. That can make it a little bit harder to have like power to wheels when you're at a lower RPM. This is like, I wouldn't be concerned about this at all though. Like this is such a small amount of lag. I wouldn't worry about it. Turbocharge sounds great here. Works. Some cars get nasty. Let me show you on the engine swap. See like this kind of thing. Oh, that's still kind of far back in the power band, but see like this is brutal. That sharp curve is lag. Turbo needs time to spool up. Walk me through your thoughts. Oh, good. You were getting it. Yes, sir. We did supercharge this car. First thing I did then after the rear wheel drive swap was going to be put snow tire compound on here. I love the way snow tires drift in this game. That's kind of been a thing in a lot of Forza Horizon games. Snow tires are just really, really good. Sometimes stock tire compound is also a really good choice, but we're going to add a little more power to this car, and I want a little bit more grip than the stock tire compound. Drift tires, I generally will only put on once a car gets quite a bit higher in horsepower, and even then you don't have to. You can still use snow tires. 700 plus horsepower, I'll start considering drift tires. But again, that's not a rule. We really love snow tires on it. Let's do all of our drivetrain and suspension stuff. Love the drift transmission. You only need 4 gears. I tune most of my builds to just work with 3rd gear being the main one. Drift differential, obviously. Race brakes, have to have them. So for tandem drifting, there's a lot of left foot braking while you're sliding, and having the control of the brake bias to have a forward biasing on your braking, as well as being able to turn the brake pressure down, is massive. It's so big. It'll keep you able to like tuck your nose in, but it'll also help you slow down the car very incrementally to not just take out the guy in front of you. Good to go, good to go. We might not need a roll cage. However, I think we're going to have a ton of headroom in this car for A-Class. I think we could just keep the roll cage. Weight reduction. How much do we... This car weighs 2,100 pounds. That's absurd. Okay, I think this is going to be a case where we could just basically slam all of our modifications. I want the car to be, if we're A-Class, I want it to be 700, but I also don't want it to just run away with horsepower, and I don't think it's going to. So here's the most important upgrade for all of the drift tunes, in my opinion. If you can only get one single performance upgrade, get the max stage camshaft. And the reason being is, if you look at our lines down here on our graph, if we go back to stock, you can see where our red line is. Let's see here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we're linear here. So we're redlining at about 8.25, something like that, which is fine. That's a pretty high revving engine already. It's a Honda B whatever the hell with VTEC in it. Like, it already revs pretty high. But some cars, and again, it'll happen here too, when you go to that racing cam and valve, look how much more RPM we have. It's just giving us more of a playground to rev up while we're sliding. I think it makes drifting in Horizon and every other game and feel really, really good. This is my favorite upgrade. Now we're redlining just shy of 10,000. This is gonna be awesome. Oh yeah, we can test it out too. Here, hold on. There we go. Oh yeah, we got the fart can on there now. Hell yeah. What did we end up at? We've taken everything. So we're just shy of 500. That's great. I think my sweet spot that I like is 450 to 600. I love how cars feel in that range. So cool. We're right in there. Now, what have I overlooked? We can keep the 225s I had on it. Basically, if the car just feels like we're on ice skates and tuning isn't really helping it, we can widen the tread width of our rear tires and our front tires, and that'll help the car feel a little bit more planted. 500 horsepower, and we only weigh 2,100 pounds, though. Our power to weight ratio is nuts. That's pretty intense. 0.22 is crazy. Maybe, well, 225s are already pretty wide. I don't want to go too much higher than that. I just want to win back more points to get to 700. That's really my train of thought right now. It doesn't seem like we're going to get it. Okay, we're getting rid of the Forza arrow. Kind of like that. Stock does look good, though. But I like that one. We're going down. Wing. I like the stock wing. Rear bumper. Not really winning back any point. Ooh, I like that one. Kind of matches the side skirts a little bit more, which we've already upgraded. Ooh. No, I like that one. Oh, all right. My worst nightmare is not being able to get a car all the way up to 700. Do I have a body kit on this? No. Well, I think it just kind of is what it is. I don't think we're going to get this one up to 700. Doesn't really have any more room to go up to 700. Okay, well, it is what it is. That power to weight ratio, I can't get over. That's nuts. So I was saying this car weighs 2,100 pounds. That's insanity. That is absolutely ridiculous. Normally, I'll put a baseline tune on the car before we head out. Actually, I think I do need to look at it because I did tune this car before for racing. And we need to see what the hell I did to it because I don't remember. A little bit lower rear tire pressure. That's already looking good. Gearing. Top speed of 213. We don't need that. Let's raise the gear ratio. This car we're just shy of 500 horse. However, we are so super light. I don't think we need a crazy, crazy high gear ratio. Let's start at 4. What does that bring us to? Top end to 164. We could also probably just tighten up fourth gear a little bit. 153. This is just an estimate thing, really. I'm just going to look at this and it'll kind of get me somewhere where I want to be, and then we'll tune from there. I'm going to adjust this stuff, but I want to see how the car feels stock. I'm going to let all that be. I want to see how it feels. Braking. Anywhere from like 60 to 80 is going to be good. Let's see here. Differential, lock acceleration, absolutely. We'll start with a fully locked deceleration. So what the differential is going to do for us is when both of your rear tires are spinning at the same speed and you're trying to turn, the inside tire wants to turn slower because it has to travel less distance than the outside tire, okay? That's what it wants to do. If you don't let it do that and they spin at the same speed, the car wants to straighten out. So what that could mean is that when you are sideways and the time comes for you to let off the throttle to let the car transition to the other direction, what can happen is that it might make the car feel even more snappy than you expect, and you might see the front end whip over on you. There's a couple of things alignment wise and tires and track width, like how far your tires are spaced. There's a couple of things that influence that same thing, but the differential one can be huge. So we'll start at 100%, and if the car feels super duper whippy on transition, we might turn down the deceleration amount. And the reason why we would do it on the deceleration amount again is because when you transition, you'll come up off the throttle, and then the car will whip around on you. So we're letting the rear tires spin at a different speed. Is that heavy or light for its weight? This car at 2,100 pounds is one of the lightest cars that I've drifted in the game yet. 2,100 pounds on a car pushing 500 horsepower is almost silly. Most of these drift cars are going to fall somewhere between like 2,500 pounds to like 3,300 pounds. Obviously, you'll have outliers, but like that's kind of the sweet spot for most vehicles. Worth 400 pounds under that. So that's crazy light. This is gonna feel light as a feather, which it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. This car, we might not be able to feel the weight of the car shifting around. We might have to really loosen up the suspension for that, but we'll see. I understand the basics, but it's a lot to learn. It is a lot to learn. And because we're in a Forza physics engine, it's not real life. All of the rules are more just guidelines, and some cars just do things better than other cars. And something that works on one car might not work on another car. Or something that works on one car might not work on any other car, right? You really have to figure it out. So locked up the diff, both. Let's go see how it feels. We're not going to play with any suspension or alignment yet. Let's just feel how the car is right off the rip. All right, let's see. First feeling is that the steering feels a little goofy. And I think that's because we're at stock caster at 7 degrees. And turning down the caster is going to make this feel quite a bit better. That's my first impression. You can really feel that this car weighs nothing. Good lord. Okay, it has some characteristics already, though, that I really like. Some cars... Here's the first thing that I go for, okay? When you power over or whatever, when you initiate your drift, the car wants to settle into an angle. Like this. And now some cars feel like they tuck right into that angle as soon as you do it. And some cars, it feels like it fights you. This car feels like it tucks in right away, which is good. This is a great starting baseline. The gearing on it feels pretty decent too. We're able to do all this in second gear because of all of that power and having no weight. This car just moves. Like, look at that. Oh my god. It's so easy. Let's see how the nose comes over. Really pay attention to it. I think the nose comes over okay. I don't think we need to lower the deceleration on the differential. I think we'll be okay there. We'll see once we start to do some alignment changes on this car. We'll see how that goes. So I'm not really feeling too much of the weight of the car, which is expected because the car weighs nothing. But it already drifts really well. I mean, this is completely usable, just kind of as is. But there's more we can do. All right, so third gear is a little low. We're gonna take this to like some other areas too, where we're gonna drift quite a bit faster to round out the car. I'm digesting how the car feels. I'm trying to process it. It's like we have moments of a lot of control, but there's pieces of the car that's kind of fighting us. It's like it doesn't always just want to stay sideways. Like it does and it doesn't. That's what's crazy. And now we have to kind of try to get to the bottom of it. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at some tuning stuff and see what this car wants. Tire pressure wise, I think we're okay. I don't think we need to do much here. I always like a little bit less rear tire pressure. That gives us just a touch more grip when we're using throttle for control. I think we're okay there. Gearing might be a little bit on the lower side. Second gear seems huge in this car. And it kind of looks huge if I am looking here. If we tighten this up slightly, that might make the gearing feel a little bit better. All right, so first thing I wanted to try is taking the caster down. So the higher the caster angle is, the more the car wants to steer, self-steer. So it wants to like right itself and keep going forward, right? It makes the steering wheel feel a little heavier too. This car, even at 7, the steering wheel does feel kind of light. But if we tune this down, let's just go down like 1 point. Let's see how that feels. I want to see if that changes how the car wants to like right itself. This should kind of help it not want to do that quite as much. Yeah, immediately that little bit of caster change. I don't feel the car wanting to fight me about being sideways anymore. If anything, now the car feels like it wants to over-rotate on me, and I have to be really, really light on the throttle, because if I do just a little too much throttle, we're spinning out. There we go. Second gear is a little bit lighter, how I want it to be. Third gear should now be our spot here. No, third's still a little low, but it's working. Let's see if we can keep it there. It's a little bit low. Back to second. I think we have demons to play with our gearing here. Let's see. That caster change was huge. I like that caster change. I think second gear might just be a touch too long. Maybe third gear is just a little too short. Third gear is going to take us all the way up to 114, huh? Raise the gearing up a touch. Let's bring that down. Let's try that. Let's try rate. Normally, this is a rare occurrence here. Usually, you don't need to tune gear by gear. Most of the time, the split between all of your gears is pretty good by default, and you just need to tune the final drive to change them all together. How I think about it is that I want third gear to do most of my drifting in these cars. So anything from like a low medium to a high medium speed, I guess. If we're over 45 miles an hour and under like 90 miles an hour, third gear is where I want it to kind of exist. Over that, we should have a little bit of headroom in fourth gear for doing like free roam drifting on streets and stuff. But underneath that, on really tight, slow, curvy stuff, we could go down to second gear. Keeping that kind of consistent tuning for my builds, it just lets me jump in any car and they all behave kind of similar. I spin out all the time, but my tune I found, I don't know. This one seems touchy, but could be a hidden gem. But since it's so light, tandem better for second gear and third for faster speeds. It depends. Tandem is really hard. Tandem is just a lot of finesse. You can take a faster car and drive it slightly slower and tandem really, really well in it. You don't have to have a slow car just to do tandem. What makes tandeming really hard, besides driver skill differential, so obviously if one driver needs a lot more practice, it's just kind of hard to follow. The power differential of the two cars could make it a really, really hard time. Tandem's better for second gear. It's going to depend. It's case by case for sure. Right now, I just want this to feel a little bit more even. So I'm just kind of eyeballing the chart down here to see where my gears top out at. Let's see how that gearing change feels. Just want to see where we're actually shifting. So second gear up to 73 is that's just a lot, man. And third gear's going up to 108 in this car. Let's actually drift with it though and see. Third gear still feels a little strange in this one. I think we lengthen it back up and maybe we just raise everything? So you could see kind of where our RPM is in third on this course, and you can see a lot of the time when I'm transitioning, our RPM is falling under 4,000, under 3,000 even. If we had an engine, if we had a different engine with a big turbo on it, we would not be able to drift right now because we would be outside of the engine's power band. We would be too low to keep the tires spinning at this RPM. We would have to do this in second gear, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something then that you would have to remember. Yeah, that was nice. So that, I had my RPMs down under 2,000 and we were able to keep sliding. So that's pretty cool. I think we got it. Keep her down in second. So second is still useful. Third now feels usable, so that's good. Second gives us a lot of juice. Back to third. Tune you use feels like second's the only option. It can be that way when the gearing's not set very well. There's not a lot out there on this car drift-wise. Yeah, a drifting Honda Civic is definitely not a purist's drift car. I don't know how many people have built these. I'm sure enough, but yeah, I don't know how many you could actually just download. Like you said, there's not a lot. That makes sense to me. All right, let's see how much that I could flick the back end out with a little jerk of the wheel. Here we go. Yeah, it's good. It's whippy enough. It doesn't really do it on you when you don't want it to, but if you give it a little flick, throws the back end around. This is feeling good. Okay, let's see now about weight transfer. I want to feel the car a little bit more. Now that the gearing, I think, is in an okay place, I usually start with the anti-roll bars, and with the disclaimer that that's not always the best place to start in suspension alignment. I don't know. This is just a process that I do. I like to soften up the rear to let the car kind of flex a little bit more. I'm going to soften up the front. And just, I want the ratio. I want the rear to be softer than the front. I don't know what values I want, but the ratio is kind of what I'm more focused on. This car is so damn light. Let's see if that feels any different. Oh yeah, it feels a lot more calm. So a term you might hear is that a car can end up feeling a little nervous, and that could mean a couple different things, but very generally, a nervous car wants to overreact to you, and so if you want to turn a little bit, the car just wants to turn out away from you, right? Like, you'll just want to lose control of the car very easily. Nervous is not good. You want, or I want, a car that's predictable. I don't want it to feel skittish in any way. Yeah, that roll bar change seems to have made a positive difference in how I think the car is feeling. Let's turn on the telemetry, and I want to see my suspension. There it is. We're all on flat ground, so it's not really a huge indicator here. Going over some bumps. I think our suspension, it's looking good. I don't think this needs any tighter suspension, but I want to feel how the car is going to change with tighter suspension. I'm going to drastically increase it by still keeping the rear slightly lower, just to see how the car is going to change right now. I don't anticipate keeping that change, but let's see. That made the car feel a lot more stiff. Duh. We tighten the suspension. Sometimes that's good, though. It definitely changed the way the car is handling, and I can't tell yet if I like it. The first 5 seconds, I was like, oh god, this was bad. Now I'm starting to think that actually it's a decent change. Maybe it was a little bit too extreme, but maybe some slightly tighter suspension than what it was by stock is appreciated. I think actually tightening it up was a good thing. I just think we did too much. So we were about there. Let's half it down. Like twitchy versus calmer. That's basically, yeah, nervous, exactly. Good enough. Let's see, we got a curb to go over right here. It's actually feeling pretty good. Let's be in third gear. Yeah, I think that was a good suspension change. Car's feeling good. We still haven't really messed with the alignment much. Okay, I like that. Let's get that off the screen. Let's see how the car is going to feel now playing with a little bit of toe. The car already feels like it wants to spin on me very easily, so I'm thinking of putting front toe out and rear toe in, just a touch like this. Should make the car feel even spinnier, and that should be a bad thing. But I want to feel what it's going to do to this car so I know how to correct in the opposite direction. There is a chance that it makes the car feel very, very predictable, though, and it'll just let you keep the car sideways for forever. Let's see. Basically, with the alignment changes we just did, we told the car, I want you to rotate even more. And sometimes a car that already rotates well, you would think that, why would you want it to rotate more? You're just going to oversteer. It could be. Depends on the car in this video game. Right now, I think that was a good change. I feel like that's helping me. It's made the car feel more predictable. It's like the car was still trying to suggest other options to me while I was driving. It was like, hey, maybe we should drive like this. And I wanted it to not do that. I want it to just do exactly what I'm trying to tell the car to do. And it kind of feels that way now. I don't know if that's a weird way to look at it. Sometimes vocalizing the thought process behind the tune is a little awkward. Yeah, I mean, this is comfy. What I want to try, because the short course like this is a good tell for most things. I want to know how well this car can stick to like a really long drift. So I'm gonna go to the big spiral stack, and I want to see what that's like.
400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The meat and potatoes is done. This car feels good. What would this car need? I think we want to try reversing the alignment. I have a couple ideas for what I want to do to this car, though. I think we could change our front toe a little bit. I think that might help how the car's feeling to me. Okay, so something I wanted to try is I want to see what this car's going to feel like if I reverse and go toe in. And just that. That's it. I'm curious to know how that's going to feel on these big sweepers. That should make the car feel a little more stable. Well, that was a good change, I think. Recency bias, but we just new PB'd with that little bit of an alignment correction. Let's do a couple more passes, though. Yeah, this alignment change that we just made makes the car feel a little less unpredictable. It didn't feel nervous before this, but I think this helped us out enough. I'm curious to know if I reverse course to that. We were at -1 in the rear. Let's see how that feels. I want the car to feel really predictable. Especially if you're just starting out, you want predictable. I don't like this change. I'm putting the alignment back. It's drifting okay, but it doesn't feel good. That was a good score. I think that would have been a PB before the last one. But no, I think we want to go back to where that was. Maybe it just doesn't need to be so drastic. Let's tune it to about there. Let's also try raising the caster just a touch. We're about settled in, though. I think this build it's right there. Keep the same ratio and soften up the rebound just a touch. I really want to get this car feeling planted to the ground without being super stiff. Trial and error, baby. Absolutely. Not bad. Felt good. Felt good. Uphill feels really good, but the car definitely throws some ass. Not gonna lie. It's a good one. I thought I was gonna smash that car. Okay, settle in, let's see, come on. I don't think I like that damping change I made. It doesn't feel too different, but the car is just responding in a different way now. It doesn't feel super off, but bring that back up a little bit. It's all good. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm curious to know what this car is going to feel like if we back off the differential a little bit for these longer sweepers. Because I feel like it's still wanting to straighten out on me a little bit when you're holding these long drifts. It might have been a well-received change. Let's see how it does on the downhill. That feels great. I think this one, it's almost a wrap. I don't know how many more tweaks we could really do that are going to be beneficial to it. Keep taking a couple passes. Maybe we'll play last step a little bit with the tire pressure. I just want to know what it would be like if we lower the tire pressure a bit more. That's probably a very negligible change. Let's see. I haven't made a tune from a car this light, so it's making some of the things I normally do not work. Okay, let's bring the pressure back up and see what we think here. Try bringing the pressure up to about that.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
If we can get over 60,000. Oh, all right. Second gear, way too short for her. I thought this was gonna be a little tighter for second. Oh yeah, it flicks great. Anything over 50 is good. If you can get over 55 on this track, you're doing really well. If you can get over 60 on this track, you're really throwing ass. $55, there we go. 55er. $59. Oh, just a C hair shy of that 60. Oh yeah, we're going hot. Coming in hot. Here we go, 60,500. Let's go. Not a new PB, but we hit our 60,000. That's what I wanted. Look at all the cool kids playing cards on their bicycles, you know? Playing cards and chess in the park and not drifting. Yeah, all in all, I think this is a really usable car. I think you can do a lot. Especially if you're gonna use this to learn. Trying to remember back to like when I first started drifting, which isn't too long ago. Okay, here's where fourth gear comes in handy. Oh yeah. This car is fun to drive. It might not be the highest scoring car of all time, but it's competitive and it's fun. I like it. I like it. All right, well, let's go look at our upgrades. Let's see everything we've done to the car, and then let's look at the tuning, go through it piece by piece. We have our 97 Honda Civic Type R that we built for drifting. First thing you do in a drift car, especially a front-wheel drive one, is make it not front-wheel drive. So, rear-wheel drive swap. Stock engine has been kept. However, we did slap a supercharger on it. So not only is this a rear-wheel drive Honda Civic, it is a supercharged rear-wheel drive Honda Civic with VTEC. Sue me. Aero. Couple cute pieces I think made the car look nice. Nothing very important. Second super important thing we did to this car, snow tires. This car feels great on snow tires. Transmission, 4-speed drift transmission, upgraded driveline. The theme of this car is any part that could have a race component pretty much got the race component, other than the drift specific stuff. Drift differential, drift springs, drift transmission. Weight reduction all the way. This car weighs 2,191 pounds. If we broke down in the middle of the road, basically two of us could pull this car off the road. Roll cage all the way. Stiffen up the chassis. Race sway bars. Race suspension. Race brakes for bias tuning. Every component here has been upgraded all the way. It kept us in A class, and we still have more room to not be at 700, which I wish we could be at 700. It is what it is. We might be able to tune the car with thicker tires to see how that races, but even there, I feel like it would be obnoxious, and we still wouldn't even be at 700, so we're not doing that. That does raise a good point. We are on 225s, I believe, both front and rear. Let's see. Yes, 225s front and rear. But yeah, that's all the upgrades on the car. Just maxed everything else out. We wanted it to be an A-class drift car. Let's look at the tuning that we ended up with here. Pretty stock tire pressure, nothing fancy. Made the car feel nice. We tried softer tires. I think it made the car a little too gummy on the road. This glides very nicely on wheel. Gearing, this is what we finally settled at, which made third gear feel great for just about every application. Fourth gear gets used out on the road when we're drifting quite a bit faster than we would for different courses. Second gear is pretty much just on reserve for really, really slow, tight corner courses. There's the alignment that we settled on. Bringing in the toe in to a negative 0.5 really stabilized this car and allows you to keep those long sweeping drifts really, really nicely. We also backed the caster off to about 6.2, which gave me a really nice steering wheel feel, and again kept the car planted. Anti-roll bars, this car is very, very light, so softening these up let me feel the car flex, especially when we're transitioning. The ratio of having a softer rear bar as opposed to the stiffer front bar seems like it helps the car kind of tuck into those slides really nicely. This car kind of gets into a groove and wants to hold that groove. There's our suspension that we've tuned up now, our vertical suspension. I think this is right where the car wants to be. It's stiff enough to slide. We didn't go too soft on here. It made the car feel kind of limp. Didn't like it, so we tightened it back up, kind of met in the middle. Slammed because JDM. Damping, same kind of thing. We want the car to feel stable when we're transitioning over bumps or when we're sliding over curbs. This seemed to be a nice middle ground. The car responds how you'd want it to. No aero. Braking bias. This is massively important, especially for guys who are into tandem drifting. You're going to want to push the braking bias quite a bit forward, and then that way when you're braking, it's not going to make the car over rotate, but it's also going to keep you from slowing down too aggressively. You want it to be to where you can kind of feather the brakes when you're in a tandem drift and stick close to your leader without just plowing into him or falling way behind. So I like to tune the brake pressure down for the wheel and pedal setup. That way I have a little more mercy on my braking input and I can stick a little bit closer to where I want to be. This is kind of generic for most cars. I'm anywhere from around 60 to 80% front bias, really just depends on the car. And same thing, braking pressure I'll typically tune down from 100 to 80 to 90. So this feels good on this car. We started out with the differential being locked on both acceleration and deceleration, and the car felt amazing on really tight corner courses and other zones like that. It felt really, really good. When we brought the car away from that to more sweeping style drifts, especially like the stack on the highway, it kept feeling like when you were deep in that drift, the car kept wanting to like push you straight again. So what we did to compensate for that is backed off of the deceleration amount so we could let the inside tire spin a little bit slower than the outside tire, and it seemed to help keep us in that angle that we wanted to be in and not just constantly fighting the car wanting to straighten us out. This is where we settled on the tuning for the Honda Civic Type R 1997, and I think you guys should give this car a try. It feels awesome. Let me go ahead and get it hosted. There we go. If anybody understands this in the catalog when they're looking for it, then they get it. If you don't, I can't save you. And I will have the share code in the description of the video, and we will also put it up right here. So there's the code, everybody. Give the car a try. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you thought this tune was worth anything. I think this car drives really well. This car is pretty solid. And I think if you're just starting out drifting, this car will help you in your journey. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.